Hi and welcome. So I'm hoping you're having a good day so far. Basically in Rocket League, for those of you who've seen the video the other day, unfortunately I encountered a scammer, and sad to say that I was stupid enough to fall for it as well, and I did lose around about 4,250 credits. Yes, I was truly distraught. Now, obviously, what I wanted to do on the back of that is kind of like a video about how to kind of avoid it. I've been discussing it with some of my friends, going through different kind of pointers, different elements, and I kind of wanted to compile it into a list to kind of help you guys just avoid it as much as possible. Look, at the end of the day, no matter how good a player you are, you know, how long you've been playing, whether you're a new player, an old player, it's so easy to fall for it, just with a lack of attention, excitement for an item that you think you're getting a better deal on, and all those good things. So sit back, relax. If you need to pause the video to listen to each pointer, you know, like more than once, do so. Hopefully it helps. And if you want to leave any comments below just about whether there was anything I missed, any other ideas or scams you've seen, or anything else at all, then just leave it below, and of course I will reply as soon as I possibly can. Okay, so basically with scammers, I mean the main thing to kind of say is, you know, be aware of a trader being very chatty or asking various questions. So scammers tend to ask a lot of questions. Are you interested in anything else? Do you know, kind of want these wheels? You know, all that stuff, and they'll always ask you once the trade is up, so you actually then are kind of distracted and not paying attention to what they are doing, which is exactly what the plan is. They basically want you to be distracted and not paying attention to them swapping out an item, which is something to be aware of. Now, on PS4 at least, I can't say for Xbox or PC. Let me know in the comments below if you're on either of those platforms whether you can. But on PS4, you can actually move the chat box around by one of the analog sticks. I believe it's L3 off memory, but don't quote me on that. It's either L3 or R3. But you can move the chat box to the side, to the left, say, and that will enable you to actually see what they're doing in the actual trade. So, you know, be aware of that. It's something to definitely have a sort of like a concept on the idea, because again, if you don't, you're distracted, and of course that can result in, of course, you being scammed. Now, if it is a big trade, on PS4 at least, again, PC and Xbox, this one may or may not apply, but have a friend watch on SharePlay if you're not sure, or it's a big trade and you just want a second pair of eyes. It never hurts to have someone else watching, because they may see something that you haven't seen, and they might be able to say, that's not the item that you know that you're trading. I got done with one item simply because they looked exactly the same, and I'd seen it already in the thing, in the sort of like the trade. Your eyes play tricks on you, and of course, yeah. So use the item check button. So there is an item check button. It's R3 on the PS4, which then should say that the L3 is to move the chat box. Makes sense. But you know, you can check the item's description. So before confirming any trade, whether they ask questions, they'll always, a lot of the time, will say 1 second, or please wait, or I'll be back in a minute, or some reason to kind of delay the trade, and they'll cancel the trade out. And of course, you know, while you're distracted from that, that's when they look to try and swap those items and kind of, you know, alter it, and you wouldn't know. And unfortunately, things with, you know, especially, I saw one video very recently which is thoroughly gutting. I saw someone get conned for a titanium white octane he thought he was getting, and instead got a grey, simply because they swapped it out and they look the same. Especially with multiple items. So be aware as well that if traders are putting in extra items, you know, if they're putting in blueprints is a common one. That's a very common one that they do. But even if they're putting in other items, anything over, I believe it's like anything up to 7, you can't then see the descriptions clearly actually on the items, which is a really bad thing on Psyonix's part. They should have improved this by now, and I'm really shocked they haven't, to be honest. But however, so be aware of that. If they're adding extra items, or it's more than the one item, like up to 7 or more, be aware, because that is when, again, they can actually swap it out and you won't even notice. And a grey octane and a white octane, they look exactly the same in the picture. There's nothing to show you any different. It's a nightmare. So that is a big thing. Before confirming the just trade, double check everything. As I say, take your time with it. do not be rushed, because again, you know, scammers will try and sometimes rush you. They'll say, look, I've got to go, come on bro, you know, be quick, are you doing this or what? You know, they will try and hassle you into rushing you into making a decision. Now sometimes I know with a bigger item, especially something of high value that you really have wanted or dreamt of getting, they are going to pry on that, and they're going to try and use emotion. If they're trying to rush you, if they're trying to actually, you know, really do it, and you just don't feel comfortable with the trade, even though you might lose the item that you really wanted, you are just better off in just saying, okay, no worries, call their bluff and say, no worries, I'll go with someone else. And usually, you know, obviously they're trying to scam you, they're going to either leave or, you know, they change their tune, depends on the individual. So yeah, so I mean, that is kind of like a few things to kind of point out. You know, pretty much the other ones, I mean, okay, if English isn't your first language, this was one I came across because I put a lot of warnings up on the app, and I realised that a lot of people who don't speak English as their first language, actually, they are being conned as well, because they don't understand what's going on, and of course they're completely trusting sometimes to what's happening. Bit of a nightmare. If you've got someone that's a friend that can actually complete the trade for you, that you really trust, obviously, don't just give it to anyone, then you could get them to complete it if they speak better English than you. And you know, I know that won't apply to everyone. And lastly, do not complete the trade until you are 100% focused. Now, for me personally, the reason I was scammed is because I was half asleep. I wanted to get it done, and I was careless. I was rushing. I knew better, and I still managed to, you know, just not pay attention. And of course, I got scammed. It was thoroughly upsetting for me because I know most of the things. I mean, I haven't played this game consistently for a long time. Probably been playing for about 9 months or so now with my friend JHD. Had the game like longer, but just never really played. Didn't have anyone to play with as such. But now I've got someone to play with consistently. I actually really love the game and enjoying it a lot in most regards. So in the sense of that is one of the other parts. Now, something else that I did want to kind of point out as well, and this is, again, why I don't want to overwhelm you guys, because I know it's a lot of information. That's why I said you might need to watch it again, or I'll try and bullet point it as best as I can in the sort of like description as well. So if you do want to hear some pointers, I'll try and copy and paste it in there just to make it a little easier. So the last things then is to get any questions out of the way before trading. Scammers will always ask something whilst the trade is up to distract you, like I said before, so be very attentive on that. Be just direct and say you aren't interested in any other items until the one you want is done, and that you won't reply to any questions during the trade. This will usually result in a scammer leaving the party, as they know it won't be easy to lose items. So just things like that is just really good to kind of just be aware of, because, you know, they play on your emotion. They will want to sway you. They will want to actually, you know, convince you that they are the ones that are going to give you that item that you dream of for an extra bargain price. And really, all they're looking to do is to, of course, rip you off and sadly gain the benefits of your credits for absolutely very little. It's a sad world that we live in for people who do that. I really hope that they all get banned, and I hope that, of course, Psyonix actually solve the problem in general, because they need to add just a warning message. If someone removes an item, I think a warning message should come up on the trade to say, an item's been removed, are you sure you want to still proceed? I think that would make scammers' life a lot more difficult. Let me know what you think in the comments below on that one. But that is it. So like I say, I hope you find the whole thing helpful and useful in sort of being aware in the future. I know it isn't going to help everyone who's already encountered being scammed, and I'm sad that that's happened to myself and others. I hope that we get that sorted very soon. But otherwise, if you liked the video, found it helpful and informative, drop me a like on the video. Really helps me out just to try and grow as a YouTuber. I'll be doing other videos as well, so keep out for that. If you want to subscribe, fantastic, and I'll see you in the comments below. Bye.